Hello. Hi, there I am. Hey, if you're out in the lobby or the hallways, come on in. We're going to play a game. If we have not met yet, I am Jenny. Hello, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Wyatt, will you peek out there, and if you see anybody, tell them it's time to come on in? Okay, we are going to play a quick game. I was going to give it one more second to make sure no one else was out there. Yeah, just tell them okay, yeah, tell them we're starting. Come on in. While we are waiting for everybody to come back in from break, you should have been given, or it should be in your spot, are the list of the job descriptions that were talked about today: small group leader, small group assistant, coordinator, check-in coordinator, all of that is there. If you did not get one, please see us. And if you have questions about it, let us know. Okay, we're going to get started. I think we got a couple more. Let's see. If you were at a table with just like two, I think this is the only two-person table, why don't you join, just for this game, if you'll join this table or another table, it'll just be easier. This game's having more people will make it a little easier. So, perfect. Okay, in your hand, hopefully every team, this table right here, every table is getting one. It's a piece of paper with the alphabet. When I say go, your table has to pick a writer, so one person that's going to be designated to write for your table. You are going to have 5 minutes to write down names of people that you think are great. How you define that is up to you. So names of people that you think are great. Here, feel free to write your own name, Mike. I see you. Put me down, right? I saw it. But here's the kicker. The first or the last name has to start with that letter of the alphabet, okay? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You're going to work together in your group. I don't have a fancy clicker. He's back there. Okay, on your mark, get set, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We are running a little behind schedule, so we're going to do this a little differently. Instead of your table, you now need to pick a person to be the sharer amongst the group. Instead of sharing your entire list, you guys are going to quickly decide. I'm going to give you like less than 30 seconds. You're going to pick like your top 5 people that you wrote down on your list instead of the whole alphabet. So quickly decide, top 5, pick a person to be your speaker, and then we're going to jump right in. And if I did not make your list, please adjust it. J or P. Either one works for me.
Jenny the humble.
Always. Okay, I know some of you guys are still talking, but we're going to get started. I'm going to start right here at this table, Miss Bev's table. Here we go, top 5. Yahweh. Talk loud so everybody can hear you. Man, this table was biblical. Good job. Good job. It's the biblical table right there. All right, Miss Tanya. Yes, I made the list. I love it. Okay, you made the cut, Tammy. All right, here we go. Neil. Oh, yes. Queen Elizabeth, I love it. Okay. Laurel, yes. I made it again. Awesome. I love that list. Okay, over here. I don't know who your reader is. I can't see. Yes, ma'am. I love it. Look at a lot of us in a little Star Wars. All right, here we go. Oh, backyardigans. I haven't listened to that in a long time. All right, and here we are. I love it. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Miss Tammy, and we'll be right back.
All right, friends, we are going to head into the curriculum portion of our show. I don't know, or it's not really a show, but it's fun. So while some of you were not in the room, you found probably a new packet at your table. When you got back in, just want to mention, it is all of the job descriptions. So from coordinator to leader to assistant, those are all there. We are missing one for buddy. That one takes a little more thought, Jessica, right? Yeah. They're kind of like an assistant, but like really leading and like sometimes just, yeah, you got to push the wheelchair. So that one will be coming soon of expectations for that. But wanted to get in your hands so you can pray over like where you see yourself and what we're expecting and what you can expect from us in return, because it's a give and take type of relationship. Then at some point, we will also get you this packet. It's shadowing checklist. So we're going to have new people always coming through in KidMin and serving, and we want to do it well. We want to set them up for success, both for their sake and for ours, and for the kids. And so each area, check-in, nursery, preschool, elementary, there are things that we want you to make sure that you go over with them and you talk about and you teach them so that they have a complete picture and they can know at the end of the morning, or know a little better, I guess, by the end of the morning if that's for them or not. And so that's for each area. So we'll get you one of those if you're curious about it. And then here in a second, while we're watching a short video, it's like 3.5 minutes, I think, we're going to be passing out 3 different packets about our curriculum. One of them, the front page, Jenny's going to talk about, and then the rest of it is kind of information for you later. Go back and read through it. I just found it really good of bird's eye view of what our curriculum's about, and one of the pages is how we can connect with families, and so kind of lays that out. So I know you all like love kids and love families. We're just trying to get the tools and resources to help you do that well. And then there are 2 different packets that look the same. You have to pay attention to details to see the differences. They're on purpose look the same because they're what we're going through in our curriculum, the 12 truths that you can see here on this poster. And so one of them is preschool and the other is kids. Jenny's going to talk about how they line up, and they just use similar verbiage, but using it for age appropriate there, along with other resources that we'll go through here in a second. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
This is the next generation. Kids are asking, who am I? Where do I belong? And finding answers outside of the church. By 2030, nearly 70% of them will not identify as Christians. We have to find new ways to reach the next generation. We need to flip the script for the sake of the next generation. It's time for a new approach to kids ministry. Introducing the Hi-Fi digital curriculum, designed to reach the next generation through real connection and true belonging. This generation sees their ultimate purpose as defining themselves and expressing their identity. Kids need to know who God says they are. That's why every year, Hi-Fi unpacks 12 simple truths to help kids discover their true identity in Christ. You will never have to search to find Jesus. You can rely on Hi-Fi to make him known every week. Hi-Fi's media-rich experience includes games, comedy, and Bible story videos that engage kids, hold their attention, and make learning fun. The Hi-Fi digital curriculum puts relationships first to help you build strong connections so every kid feels like they belong. With Hi-Fi, kids will have fun, find friends, and feel emotionally safe, so their hearts are open to hear the gospel. Building off of research and the latest in teaching methods, Hi-Fi has created an entirely new approach to community building: the outsider-in strategy. No assumptions are made that your kids come ready to learn, or that they feel comfortable in a church, or inherently believe the Bible. Every session stands on its own, requiring no prior knowledge and anticipating irregular attendance. Kids engage with call and response learning for large groups, side-by-side learning for small group, and dynamic games for community building. Designing a culture of extravagant welcome. Sundays shouldn't be stressful. That's why Hi-Fi creates simplicity. The 100% digital resource saves you time and makes it simple for you to adapt your sessions. Volunteer roles have been simplified, shifting the focus from teaching to connecting with kids. For the sake of the next generation, there's a new way to do kids ministry. Real connection, true belonging. Introducing Hi-Fi.
All right, so we are a month and a half in to using Hi-Fi. It started out just as we need a filler for the month of Easter, because as much as I love and adore the Gospel Project, they were dropping the ball at Christmas and Easter, and they were just recycling the same lessons, and they were boring and stale, which is really sad, because as Jesus followers, Christmas and Easter are what we're here for. And so it just felt hard to stick with them. So we were exploring curriculum that we might move to when we finish our cycle of Gospel Project. It's a 3-year cycle where you start in the Old Testament and go all the way through the New Testament. At the end of either this, was it all the way through December, Jenny? All the way through December, because we were in the midst of the New Testament in the beginning, and so taking us all the way through the New Testament would have been the entire year. And so we're like, well, we've got some time to figure out what curriculum we might explore when we're done with this. Like, love Gospel Project. I think since I started, like, this is, we've been cycling through again and again Gospel Project, because I just haven't found a curriculum that focuses on Jesus and Scripture, and I wasn't willing to sacrifice that in our curriculum. And so we would try something for the summer, or we would try something for a few weeks, and be like, that wasn't it. And so we would ultimately end up starting a new cycle in Gospel Project. And so it has been one of the things that Roger challenged me when I started as kids minister. Tammy, you are going to have to be super intentional, because if you remember back to how Tammy started, the introvert, quiet, like not going to be on stage, barely praying in my small group, like super quiet, awkward. I was not connecting with 4th and 5th grade boys, like just the opposite. And so that was Roger's constant charge for me, I guess, was, Tim, you have to find a way to connect, because we can't afford to lose them. Like, you have to connect. And I've done too well. Like, I have freshman boys that, like, I love them, and they're always around, and now I'm volunteering in high school. So I figured it out, and I'm obviously up here on this stage. So but that was a lot of Tammy doing personal connections and reaching out and relationships and doing things. Need to figure out some way on Sunday morning that it's more than just Tammy doing it, because that's a pretty big burden for me to carry. So when we tried Hi-Fi in the month of March, after the first Sunday, Jenny and I looked at each other and we said, we can't go back to Gospel Project. still love Gospel Project, but witnessing, especially large group in elementary, and if you've had the privilege of being part of this curriculum in large group, it's night and day difference of engaging our kids. They are excited. There are laughter and giggles, and they are participating. We're challenging with a memory verse, and there were so many children that did it the first month. So just seeing so many good things. And I don't get the pleasure of being in preschool to see all of it, but I get to pop in, and they are always engaged and excited. And the preschool teachers that I've had conversations with this is really good. And it helps with that classroom at 11 where we have the 2 through 5. It can reach all of those ages with the videos that they have. So that's kind of why we found ourselves in a new curriculum, is that Gospel Project is good and scriptural and always points back to Jesus every Sunday, but it was not connecting and relating to our kids, which has been the theme of the morning. It's all about connection and relationship. And like they are founding this curriculum on the research they did to write Flip the Script. They were surveyed. They surveyed hundreds of families and figured out like what drives a family unit, why they're going to church, what they're looking for, and it's connection and community. And so if you look at the pieces of your lesson, it's intentional on being super surface level and getting to know the kids at the beginning and then diving into the Bible lesson later once you've made a connection. So Jenny's going to come up and she's going to walk us through like what it looks like to be intentional in planning the lesson and why.